Queen of Cups just came out for you. Welcome. I hope you're well tonight. We're going to get started soon. If you have a prayer badge by your name, I will do 2 card readings for you. In order to get one of those badges, all you have to do is make sure you're following and then subscribe. And when you subscribe, you can receive a 2 card reading tonight and anytime I see you live. So if you come live multiple times a week, anytime I am done with a collective reading, I will go ahead and answer any questions you might have with the 2 card pulls. So that is for subscribers of my channel. That's one of the perks. My night's not going too shabby. I decided to try a different time. I usually go live about 4 p.m., but I decided to go live at a different time tonight, just see if there were more people out and about, people that I don't usually get to see. Bennett, if you have a question, you can of course subscribe to my channel and I'll pull 2 cards for you and answer your question. And if you are already a subscriber, if you have a question, I will pull cards for you. Once you subscribe once, anytime I see you live and you have the prayer badge, I will do readings for you. But I don't do free readings, so I have to have some kind of an energy exchange. Just because this is my main gig and it's not something I just can do freely all the time. I do donate a lot of collective readings though, and you can see all of my hours of free collective readings on Tuned In Tarot YouTube. Of course, I do 6 days a week here on TikTok, delivering messages for you. And if you become a member, there's additional content that you have access to, full length, tell me everything spreads, etc. And you can become a member at the link in my profile. A member is a member of my website. You have access to the members only area of my site. A subscriber is here just on TikTok. And as a subscriber, you are always able to receive questions when you come live. I'll pull cards for you. And you also help to grow my channel on TikTok, because the more subscribers I have, the more likely TikTok is to promote my channel. So it's a really great way to support me and help grow my reach so that I can book enough private readings to survive, which I haven't been doing lately, which is kind of scary because January is a rough month usually for small business owners. So I'm hoping December picks up a little bit, people gifting readings, etc. And I'm hoping you are all getting excited about the 24-hour virtual retreat experience that will be coming to you on January 7th. There's room for 30 participants. I think we have about 10 people who already said they're interested, so that means there's probably about 20 tickets still available. We're going to start ticket sales in about another week or so, and you get like a welcome package when you purchase the tickets with some video content already coming to you in preparation for the retreat. The idea is that you get to create a spa retreat in your own home, and do it with a group of people, and get to have the experience that, you know, you would have to pay thousands of dollars for, but in a way that you can create it for yourself in your home, and then learn how to have that retreat experience without me, but just basically learning the skills to create that safe sanctuary for you to have at home. So for 2 card readings, you have to subscribe. You can subscribe to my channel and I'll pull 2 cards for you and read any question you might have. If you're wanting a private reading, there's a link in my profile. You can book a private reading. Any readings that are under an hour long, don't pay attention to the time that it's booked. That just means I will deliver it to you by that time. It does not mean that you have to be free or available. So don't worry if you go look at my schedule and there's nothing that fits your schedule. As long as you're not doing the 60-minute custom one-on-one session with me, I'm just going to send you the pre-recorded video at the time that you've selected. But that's how you get a deep personal reading. I'm not doing them anymore on live right now outside of the 2 card readings for subscribers. There is an option to subscribe only for 1 month, so your card isn't charged over and over. If you're concerned about that, just choose 1 month subscription, and then anytime you see me live this month, as long as I see the little prayer badge by your name, I'll go ahead and read for you. Okay, so For those of you that are just here for collective messages, I'm going to bring some of those through right now. And I'm leaving it open-ended. My theme usually for Sundays is about spiritual nourishment. In the past, we talked about physical nourishment also. And but I'm just going to let any messages come through tonight that are meant to come through. Hello, thank you for subscribing. Also, when I hit 22 subscribers, which I think is six subscribers from now, I will read 2 cards for everybody in the room. So if you happen to be the 22nd subscriber, I will pull cards for everybody. So let me just bring through this collective energy that just came through, and then whatever question you have, Dean, I will totally respond for you. I will pull cards for you. But the cards that just came out when I was just asking for any messages to come through, we got the Knight of Cups, the World card, and the Empress. It's a lot of energy to come through, just like, and I'm like, bring whatever you want through, and the universe is like, douche. Okay, so there's somebody waiting, okay, and we see, like, if the cards just came out the way that they were on my desk, it would have looked like, oh, it's just the Knight of Cups. But then as I picked them up, we saw, oh, no, there is the World. So there's somebody wanting to complete some kind of cycle. And then there is the Empress. So there's somebody waiting to complete some kind of cycle. Okay, so feminine energy, divine feminine energy. The feminine energy in the Empress is able to wait patiently, because she knows that she actually needs the time to nurture what she's growing within her. So she's not an impatient Empress. She's content to just take care of herself, nourish her body. She knows that this life is coming into the world. She knows it's going to happen. So we're not getting a whole lot of like anxiety or worry. This is not an energy that's going to like try to chase you or do anything to make you do something. She's accustomed to people doing what she desires, because she knows her worth and she knows her value. And the World card is about cycles ending, things coming to a completion, all of the pieces of the puzzles coming together. It can be about vulnerability. And I also like that in this case, we're seeing that the feminine energy is put herself at the center of her world. And so this is why she's kind of content with the waiting that she has had to do, because she is aware that it took her some time and a spiritual journey, honestly, to really put herself at the center of her own world. And then we arrive at the Knight of Cups. And this is an interesting Knight of Cups because we see this person here who's kind of like on the outside, got non-binary energy, honestly. Then we have this masculine energy here and this feminine energy here. It's not typical that you're going to see 3 parties in the Knight of Cups. Usually you're just going to see one energy that has a cup on a horse, etc. And instead, we're seeing that there is this additional energy that's accompanying the masculine and feminine energy. And it's not clear what the relationship is between the 3 of these people. So I think Divine Feminine, the message that's coming through right now is, as you've gone through this spiritual journey, learning how to nourish yourself, learning how to take care of yourself so that you can bring your desires to life, learning how to open to receive. You've gained this awareness that part of your world is deeper than just this masculine, feminine, heteronormative, even if you don't have a hetero relationship, but a heteronormative way of relating to one another, that there's much more to love than just this, and that has something to do with this balanced energy within inside of self, being able to express in your masculine or your feminine however you want, and seeing that reflected back to you. It's like the thing that has gotten between you and your person has not been like, you know, a girlfriend, an ex-wife, a mother, a parent. The true obstacle has been understanding that you are complete and whole on your own. And that when you achieve that, that's when you can finally feel like you will have healthy dynamic in your relationships. Look at how this person's cup is literally resting on the shoulder of this individual. It's like resting on the shoulder of the part of yourself that is so balanced within you that it can identify in either energy and be capable of working with either energy. That is what creates healthy dynamics, and that is what you have been learning on your journey. And the masculine has had the same work. He has had to learn to put his creativity, his emotions, his feelings at the center of his world. He has had to learn that he can't just be like that, being this energy that has like feminine gendered or feminine identifying gendered individuals interested in him makes him a man. It's not. What makes him a complete person is to have the same kind of value and worthiness shown towards his own feelings and emotions that he has shown towards like the emperor side of things, like the management and the doing and the action, etc. So that is what we have been learning, I guess, in the collective. Okay, so let me get Dean's question here answered, who just became a subscriber. Thank you so much for subscribing. If anyone else would like me to answer questions today, you can follow and then subscribe, and I'll go ahead and pull 2 cards. If you are already a subscriber and have a prayers badge, go ahead and let me know your questions for today in the comments, or if you just want a general reading. But you do have to have paid for a subscription in order to receive a reading. So Dean, what question did you have for today, if any? Hi, Sarah. In order to receive a reading, you do have to either subscribe or you can go to the link in my profile and book a private reading if you would rather. My name is Dina, if you need to know that at all. Does Max want a relationship with me? Okay. So Dina, when I look at something like this, I'm not a reader who reads Max's energy because he hasn't given me permission to. That I don't do anything without consent. But I don't really need to know about his energy in order to find out the likelihood of him wanting a relationship with you, because how you think and feel about it is really going to tell me all I need to know for the most part. Okay, so we have here the Ace of Swords, which is a card that is about clarity. It's about being able to see the potential of something or see the future of something, or future planning. It can be about cutting out old mindsets that don't serve us and then creating new ones that will help us achieve what we desire. And that's coming out here with the King of Swords, who is the king who wields this sword and who does choose to use his intellect to find clarity about a situation, to follow a strategy or a plan that the Queen of Swords has created, because the Queen, of course, is the creative energy, and then the masculine king energy is the energy that takes action towards those things. So the way that I would look at this is, your question is, does Max want a relationship with me, or will he? What I'm seeing is an energy that's not really feeling anything, okay? Usually for a relationship, you're going to want to see some cups, something to indicate emotions, some wands, even for passion or sexual attraction, magnetism. What I'm seeing is that this is something that's very cerebral, something that is relegated to the mind and not really showing me a lot of feeling or heart. So, you know, Max might think of all the logical reasons why or why not there could or couldn't be a relationship, but I'm not seeing an energy here where they are really interested in their feelings about it. They might not even value their feelings. Like, even if they had feelings, they might be like, well, you know, feelings don't really do anything for you. They don't help you. They make you weaker. It can be that kind of an energy of detachment from feeling. So swords for me are usually, if somebody asks a yes or no question, they are a no. But I don't like to give anybody just a no, especially when there's a lot of information in the cards. I think you would have to change your mindset about this person. I think you would have to see them differently or see yourself in a different way to really believe that they would want to take this into a romantic place with you. Right now, I think there's this thought of like, it's kind of all business. I am seeing there's hearts carved out there behind him in the bushes. I've actually never seen that before. So it's almost like he's carved out his space in his mind for love, but it's interesting because it's both like they're empty, right? There's nothing in them. It's not like it's filled with flowers or anything. It's like a space, like a holding space for a potential relationship. So I don't think this person is in a place where they're seeking romance at this time. They might reserve a spot and they might think to themselves, oh, you might be a potential person that I could have a romance with in the future, but they're not really making a space for that in their life right now. They're a little bit more focused on their work, their career, like who they are in the world, something like that. There's also a sign here that you might have chosen somebody emotionally unavailable. The only reason that we do that is because we ourselves are fundamentally emotionally unavailable. And we think we're not because we think about our feelings a lot. Again, sword cards. We think about how we feel, but thinking how we feel and allowing ourselves to feel how we feel are very different things. We also might think, well, I do express my feelings, but most of the time we're very selective. When we are emotionally unavailable, we're very selective about which feelings we actually are sharing. You know, like we worry about other people's feelings. We consider other people's feelings a lot. So we don't necessarily say, you know, I actually don't really feel good when we're hanging out. It's something that doesn't feel good to me, because we don't want to hurt someone's feelings. That's emotionally unavailable. Like if you're hanging out with somebody that you don't feel good hanging out with, but you feel bad about telling them that you don't really want to hang out, you're suppressing your emotions to appease someone else's perception of you, but it's a false perception because you don't enjoy being with them and you're not telling them that to spare them. By doing that, you're remaining emotionally unavailable. So there are ways we do act this way in our lives. And when we choose somebody who acts that way towards us, it's our call to take a step back and be like, wait, how am I inauthentic with the people around me in terms of my feelings? You know, sometimes some feelings are temporary, fleeting, mood-based. You know, you don't have to tell somebody you hate them in the middle of an emotional outburst in order to be emotionally expressive. But once you have sorted out how you feel and you're in a headspace that is more level than when you were, you know, in the height of your freaking out, that is your moment to assess. Listen, I was triggered for some reason and I need to express what is going on with inside of me so that that doesn't happen again, or so that I can counter it in some way. Hi Steffi, no worries. When you have an extra windfall, I'll be more than happy to pull some cards for you. But thank you for being here. Honestly, commenting, liking, it's one way to really support my channel too. And even sometimes when you can't get personal readings for yourself, a lot of times I think it's because you're meant to hear some of the messages that come through collectively, and because maybe you would have asked a certain question and you were really meant to hear a different message than the question you would have asked. A lot of times I think people want to ask about their person and their guides want them to hear about themselves. And so it's unlikely that you would have asked a question about yourself maybe. That's one of the things I think sometimes we have when we're limited from being able to work with a reader. Thank you so much for the roses, Steph. I'm seeing all these roses come for you. And so if anyone else is wanting a reading, if you follow and then subscribe to my channel, I will pull 2 cards for you today. And then anytime I see you live, and I'm doing an open call for readings and you have a prayer badge, like Dina does, then I will go ahead and read for you. But if there's nobody that would like a reading or is able to get a reading right now, I will pull some cards for the collective again. Amanda, yay. Do you have a question today, Amanda? And thanks for being here with me. It's 6:44 right now. I ate too much candy. That's all I know. I just had like 5 pieces of candy too many. I love this deck. Did this weekend help the bond between Kay and I? Okay, so for a yes or no question, when I get pentacles, the answer is always yes, but with a little work. That's usually how I view a pentacles card. And then we get the 7 of Pentacles and the 9 of Pentacles. You asked about a bond, and we see a person that is trying to, it looks like maybe get forgiveness or something from this feminine energy. Try to do something to like get her to forgive him in some way. The 7 of Pentacles is about planting seeds and there being a time of harvest. Like it is time now to gather the fruit from the harvest. We're missing the 8, right? We have the 7 of Pentacles. Now we gather the harvest. We that would be the 8 where we're doing that work. And the 9 is where we finally are getting a reward. So did it help with your bond? I think that it's still calling on you to have patience. I don't think that this person is quite ready to give you what reward you deserve. You know, it looks like if you're honest, like maybe what's going on with them is really just not in alignment with the true abundance you have. And so you're being really told to kind of step into your own just single and independent energy right now. Just enjoy the abundance that's coming from indulging things that you love to do, or it could be other potential partnerships that are out there for you to explore and enjoy, because you have planted seeds for a really rewarding connection, and it just looks like you're gonna have to keep waiting for this person to kind of be on the same page as you. So yes, I think that, you know, it probably did improve your bond, but ultimately that's not what you're after. You're not just after having an improved bond, right? You want to actually be able to enjoy the fruits of your harvest. And he's not showing you the devotion that's missing, right? The 8 of Pentacles is the card of devotion, and that's missing here, and you deserve that. And so I think that's definitely your message for today. Like, it wasn't a bad thing, but it's not the level of work or devotion that you deserve, that matches yours at this time. Doesn't mean they won't step up into that, but they probably won't, as long as we enable them to just be fine with whatever's going on. Like I was like fine with receiving Instagram posts, vague references, and music playlists for a decade. And so that's what I got for a decade. And then I stopped being fine with that in July. And my person has tried a few times to resurrect those old cycles. And I've just been like, nope, no. And it still hasn't motivated him to do anything. So, you know, there's a time where you have to embrace like, oh, you know, I guess it's possible that this person never really did have any intention of bringing this into reality. But they really did like the way it felt for me to pay attention to them and to like hold my interest for so long, the fantasy of like me being the perfect companion, which of course I'm always the perfect companion when you're not really in a relationship with me. Like when all I do is idolize and worship you and think everything you do is so great, then but yeah, the amount of work I put into myself and into relationships is not at all matched by that person. And so I'm in that same boat of being like, well, you know, I gotta leave because there's no fruits coming from this harvest. Right, spot on. I'm glad to hear that. Nicole, how will my income generation look a few months into the next year, or into the new year? Okay. So let's look at your earning potential. So this is going to be how you think and feel about your earning potential. Which obviously if you don't like it, you can shift it. That's the good thing about the way that I read cards. I don't read a book from the future that shows me exactly what's going to happen. I read your own energy and thoughts that will result in something, but shifting your energy and thoughts can shift your results. Okay. So how's it going to look over the next few months? The first card that's coming up for me is the Four of Cups. This is a card that is about fantasy versus reality. And it's a card about offers, accepting offers, about being grounded, about meditation. It can be about apathy, you know, not really wanting to do something because you're afraid of rejection. Those are all different things associated with this card. For me, I am seeing that it's probably like what you're fantasizing is going to be true and what's actually going to be true are two different things. But the King of Swords came out. So I do think that you are going to be in a position where you are able to strategize with your finances in a way that you haven't been able to before. So it's probably not going to be as like, you know, fantasy as you think it might be, but you're going to have more to work with than you have in the past. You're going to be able to do something with the finances that are coming in. And the other message here is the more you fantasize, the more you visualize the feeling of being able to have authority over your finances, command that certain things go where you want them to go, etc., etc. The more you do that, the better your situation will be. Like dreaming big for yourself and feeling like you can handle it, that is going to help you to have an even better experience financially in the next few months. I will say that, you know, it's okay to have a fantasy and then have it pale in comparison. Like my fantasy of what my finances will look like is always ridiculous. But then of course, because my fantasy is so big, I feel like, oh, I'm a failure, I haven't done anything. And then I'm like, are you kidding? You literally have a luxury vehicle. You went from having no vehicle, living in downtown Los Angeles, barely able to survive, to being able, maybe by the skin of your teeth every single month, but being able to afford a luxury vehicle, which technically if you got rid of that car, you could get a cheaper car, you could get, you know, like a very cheap apartment, but like, obviously I just want to be able to grow my wealth and still be able to afford that vehicle. But if I looked at my situation and was like, oh, I'm a failure because I didn't make epic gob tons of money, it's like, you had no car and you really needed one and you were able to get one and it's a nice one. And so you did actually create something from nothing. If you recall, you had nothing, remember? Like, so I think that same thing is here. It's like maybe you might feel a little disappointed that your fantasy of what your finances will be like is like a little bit less than you were imagining. But at the end of the day, you'd be like, yeah, but I have command over this, right? Like I have a car, right? Or whatever it is. Yes, I now, for this lovely car, which I'm still paying the car payment for. Anybody who wants to book a private reading this week, I need about 7 of them to completely pay for this car. But, yes, I also now have to spend around $1,000 to get all weather tires because I have tires from California, and this car is in the Northeast now. So I need to spend $1,000 on tires and probably as much to register it somewhere. So I'm just like, great. But I can do it. I can do it. You're welcome. No, it wasn't a message of ruin. It was a message of really being able to strategize with the money that you're going to have. And also, you know, to think big. I think big and plan what you're going to do with those finances when they come through. Steph, I'm seeing that you are a member. Do you have a question for me to answer? And thank you so much for becoming a member. Your badge wasn't showing before. I don't know if it like renewed or what happened. If you know you're a member and your badge isn't showing, let me know. I think sometimes what happens is if you only subscribe for a month, you have to like renew the subscription. Okay, so you don't need a card today. If you do have a question, just let me know. Alrighty, I'm gonna pull some collective energy. If there are any other, oh, thank you for extending your subscription. I appreciate that. If there's anyone else who has questions, let me know the questions and I will answer it. You wish you could start your business. So I definitely have my business now, but I still haven't gotten my EIN number. There's a lot of things I haven't done yet. So you might be able to start your business without actually starting your business. That's one thing that I will say. Another thing I will say is a lot of times we think that we have one type of business in mind, but there's ways for us to do that work in a different manner. Taking a bridge job is one of the best ways, I think. So one of the things I'm wanting to do is I'm feeling like I want to open a brick and mortar shop with esoteric books and cards, a cafe with a stage for music, a very limited seasonal menu, and then in the premises I want to have like my recording studio, which is basically what I have in my bedroom, but I just want it like in my premises. And I can broadcast live from there as well as record and work with artists. And I've been thinking about this place for a while. And I know that one of the best things for me to do would probably be to find a similar business. One that maybe has a cafe plus merchandise or a small stage or a seasonal menu, something like that. And take a job at that place. Even though I wouldn't be super stoked to work retail. But if it was a small place that was owned by a business owner where I could learn from them, learn how they did what they did, learn how to get the licenses in the state that I'm living in now, because I'm in New York State now. So that's always a good idea. If you can't afford to start a business, finding the type of business that you want to start and seeing if there's a bridge job you can take to help you gain skills that you need to start your business, meet the people that you need to start your business. Another thing I could do is I could call some of the local tarot esoteric bookshops within driving distance and ask them if they have do they ever have guest tarot readers, and then I could come in and meet the business owners and talk to them about how they do what they do and something like that. So if you can't quite start your business, there are certainly a lot of ways that are virtually free that you will be able to start to attract the right people and the abundance you need to get out of the situation that you're in. So I know you've mentioned that before. So another thing I want to tell you too is you have an opportunity when you talk about your life to tell the story that you want to experience or the one that you don't want to experience. And when we keep perpetuating a belief, so before, when I know that you want to create art, and I know you mentioned before that you don't have the space to do that because you're living in your car. And that's still true. And so I think that the thing for you to focus on right now is you have to tackle one thing at a time in a situation like that. And like, to me, the most important thing for you right now would be your living space, like needing to get into a space that you can live in, not be confined to. And calling in that is going to be the most helpful thing. And I don't know exactly, I know a lot of the people that follow me are really concerned about relationships. Thank you. They're really concerned about relationships, and yet they have these huge gaps in their life that need to be filled by their own endeavors. And this finding a place to live, it's very challenging. I think I was homeless I've been homeless multiple times, but the last time that I was homeless, and I lost my car as well, so I couldn't even live in my car anymore. I think that the total length of time I was in that situation was, I think it was February, March, April, May. So May to June, somewhere in May or June. So almost 5 months I didn't have any car, and I was completely homeless. I was just living on people's couches. I would stay with friends for a few weeks at a time. It was awful. And the way that I solved it was by volunteering. I volunteered for another organization. And when I did that, the person that ran the organization found out about my living situation and helped me to get an apartment. So it was by I was at the absolute bottom. I would normally, in a situation like that, you would think you had nothing to give. How can I have anything? I don't have a house. I don't have a car. The only thing I could do was, I had a friend who would drive me to my job, which I taught music at a guitar center. I was teaching students part-time at Guitar Center at the time. And basically one night when I was in a car, I was able to get lifts to and from my job occasionally, when I absolutely had to. And they told me about this building that needed some music production stuff, and I ended up volunteering time. And that helped me. It helped me to volunteer because it got me out of other people's houses. I was able to get a ride over to the organization that I was working for. It gave me a rehearsal space for my band. The people that I was working for found out I had a band and that we needed a place to rehearse, and they let us rehearse there. So I was able to do that, and then it turned into housing. So focus more on how you can take your art right now and maybe volunteer in some fashion, because maybe that will lead you to a place that is going to help you with housing. Something like that I think would be really great. Hi, Luna. How are you, babes? I think that's a good idea, moving to a different part of the state with a friend right now. Getting that living space is going to be a real big game changer for you. I know it was for me. Is your Chiron placement in Taurus by any chance? That's what mine is in. And homelessness is associated with that placement a lot. All right, everybody, let's go. We're going to do a little more collective energy. If there's anybody who is a subscriber and would like a reading, just ask your question in the comments. If you have a yellow prayer badge by your name. Okay. 8 of Swords. So the divine feminine, or the feminine within your person, it's being pushed back into a cage. Like, there's definitely this feeling of caging the emotions, or blocking the emotions, not letting the emotions get out, feeling like you can't allow your emotions in. It's an illusion, of course. The Eight of Swords isn't real. You can easily get through these barriers or boundaries. There isn't actually anything keeping you stuck outside of your mind, but there's definitely this feeling of being caged in or boxed in. Your emotions, your creativity, the feeling of being in your car, having this needing a creative outlet, wanting to be able to express yourself through your art, etc., but feeling like you don't have the space to move, like that feeling. And for the person, the masculine person, feeling like he has to keep his emotions caged, block them out. He might have done this physically to the feminine, blocked her, or just continues to block her by not being emotionally available. That's what's been happening. That's the past energy in the collective. In the present energy, we have the Page of Pentacles and the Page of Cups. So, wow. And then the Page of Swords is after this. So these two came out together, and this is where we end up. This is not a lot of development, okay? Okay, so the big grown-ups have put their feelings, their emotions, on ice. They've decided that these things are too unpredictable, too, not stable enough, not able to provide, etc. And then, and because of that, they act from this very immature place. Your feelings, because your feelings have been relegated to this secondary role in your life, there's virtually like no awareness of how to actually guide them or direct them. There's so much to be learned. Like, I feel like there's just a lot of development and lessons going on. Can you give me some more, please? First of all, tell me about this Eight of Swords. Yeah, okay. We cannot get rid of the King of Swords tonight. Tell me about this. Wow. Ugh, okay, I fucking hate this. All right, so the Eight of Swords is being clarified by the King of Swords. So the masculine energy just deciding that feelings are useless. We don't need feelings. Okay, great. So that's what the masculine energy has decided. Our feelings are limiting us. They're keeping us from, living our life to the fullest. We can't make a plan. We can't make a strategy if we just constantly keep succumbing to these feelings, okay? The present moment is, okay, I need to learn how to express my feelings, be much more mature. Like, I can't keep being playful. I can't keep being childish, acting like a teenager. Like, I need to grow up. So I need clarity. Look at that. Remember I said there was a lot we need to learn, and we're getting this Ace of Swords with all these books. It's like right in the present moment, because we can sense that emotional reactivity, or underreactivity, not reacting at all to our emotions, not valuing our emotions at all. Either one of those behaviors has caused us to just act really childishly. And we're being honest with ourselves about it. It's kind of painful to be honest with yourself about something like that. but you're literally blocking your entry into a new way of being by continuing to perpetuate a lot of these childish behaviors, or allowing someone else to behave childishly. And so you need to cut out that behavior, or cut out your tolerance of that behavior, and have clarity about what you do want and how you do want to be treated. And then this is the thing that I'm like, I fucking hate this, because it's like we have this very childish energy who's just sort of watching and curious, you know, but there's just this slow moving energy of the Knight of Pentacles. If I let my ego talk about my situation, it just baffles me. Like, I have to talk to this person because I have to hear from their mouth why on God's green earth it would take them this long to communicate anything to me. I can't even understand it. Like tonight, I like before I started doing any of the readings, I was just like, what do I need to do? Because I don't know what to do with the way that I feel, which is like, I can't believe it has been this long. And I can't believe that it's still happening. And I can't believe that there's nothing I can do to get out of the situation. It feels like it's the slowest moving. It's so frustrating. And then I fucking pulled the Emperor card out of the deck, which was like, you have to take action. And I'm like, great. What fucking action do you suggest that I take? Like, I don't understand, like, what action I could take outside of the actions I've already taken, which have resulted in nothing. So I'm just sort of like feeling very frustrated by the slow moving energy of a little baby infant child just like watching me, like with his blankie, like security blankie, like, oh, what's my person doing today? Like, is it any different than the day before? Oh, it's really not. It's really not different. It's really the same messages coming again and again. But still just sitting there and watching instead of actually moving, just breadcrumbing, just withholding. I hate that. I hate that. So what do we do about that? What do we do about that? This was the fucking... This was the motherfucking card that clarified my Emperor card. And I was like, literally, I was like, fuck you, and put my cards away and did another reading. This is the Six of Wands. This is a card about overcoming internal struggle. It is about defying the odds. It is about recognizing that what you perceive as limitations are not limiting you, and pushing through those limitations to really be your best and do your best. It's about bringing peace to yourself after a battle and enjoying the spoils of your victory. So what that's suggesting to me then is the reason why there is no movement is because you're struggling with something. I think that what we can see here is that, like, first of all, if you're waiting for this child to grow up, you're going to be waiting a long time, right? You're an adult. This person is, like, we're looking at a toddler here. So that's a good 12 to 15 years before they're even legal. And then, you know, are you going to marry an 18-year-old, or you want somebody that's like more in their 30s? Like, are you going to wait for this person for another 20 some years to grow up and be at your level? Because You could have victory and success in this situation very easily by acknowledging that a person who is so childish that they would just keep watching you when you know they're watching you. Like, that's the best part. Where it's like, you know they're there. You know they're there watching. It's not like they're being good at being secret or anything like that. Are you just going to wait for them to mature? Or are you going to claim victory and success over your own life and just acknowledge that maybe the reason why this one particular person has done nothing but watch you is because that thought that they keep having, that they are not at your level and they are not really worthy of someone like you, is true. Like, maybe it's true that they are not capable of being in a relationship. Why don't you believe them? What have you ever chosen to believe them? Because in the past, it's so interesting how we look at this other person. We look at this other person and we choose to doubt whether they love us. We choose to doubt their feelings of affection for us. But then when they say, yeah, I don't feel that way, I feel like we're just friends, you're like, I don't believe that. I know they feel more for me. I know they feel more for me. What if we just took their behavior at face value? And like, what if one of the standards of being around us is that if you say or do something, you have to be in your integrity. Oh, thank you for the December gift. You have to be actually, like, when you say it, it has to be apparently true. And if it's not, then you're not on my level. Are you being secretive? Are you hiding a lot from people? You know, are you kind of, if you're doing that, then you have to shift how you're doing that. But if you're speaking from your integrity, if you're like, I'm ready for something, and you really are, and then maybe we should believe this person, the person that's like, I'm not good enough, I'm a loser, you know, I don't have self-control, I have addictions, I have a past family that gets in the way. Maybe we should start being like, yeah, that sounds like a you problem, and that's not a problem I'll ever be able to solve. And it also sounds like you're going to have another problem, which is on top of all those you problems you just said, you're going to also have the problem that you aren't actually going to be able to be with me. You can't. You're not capable. I'm not into children. I'm not one of the weird top 1% of old white men who supported Jeffrey Epstein's island. Like, not me, not into it. So yeah, I'm not, if you're going to remain a child, then I think I'm going to claim my victory and success by taking all the hard work I've put into myself and going and doing something that's going to make me feel really good, taking action in my life. And I have this feeling that when you start to do that, and I mean really, really start, not just think about it, not fantasize about it. You have to do that first. It's not that those things are bad, but it's after you've done that thinking, after you've done the fantasizing, that is that point where you're like, okay, I've got the moving truck, it's packed, I'm heading in this direction, I've got a new job, I've got, you know, I'm quit my old job and I'm pursuing my passions full time. My thinking is that when you are in the midst of that transformation, that transition, that personal success, that is when a person that is a full-grown adult with balanced energy shows up for you. And it's likely not going to be the person you've been focused on for this long, because you are going to be a new person. And the likelihood that you're still going to be interested in somebody who was so willing and happy and capable of keeping your relationship in this state, this is child's play. This is okay with your person's okay with this. How do you know they're okay with it? They keep doing it. If you're not okay with something, you stop doing it. And there are a lot of ways you stop. You could be like, oh, well, but they have this other relationship. They have another person, and so they can't do it. Okay, but they can stop communicating with you even vaguely or subtly or even telepathically if they want to. But if they want to keep you but not actually come forward, that's the childishness. That's not something they're willing to stop, right? Like my person said years ago in a song that he wrote, I don't want to hurt you, but I don't want to let you go. Okay, so you're just fine with hurting me then. So you're just going to keep hurting me because you selfishly don't want to let me go. So I need to take that information, those behaviors, I need to take those things at face value. My person was willing to make really selfish choices throughout our dynamic. I made selfless choices constantly. I did it because I thought it would bring us closer together. It did not. It did not. It actually separated us even further apart. Because if you act selflessly and someone else acts selfishly, it drives a wedge of resentment between you. So it actually did not help me. You're my absolute favorite. Thank you. That made my day. But yeah, I wanted, personally, from my ego, I want to get up here and be able to say, like, it's all going to work out with the person you've been focused on for 14 years, because I want to be able to say that it all worked out for me, and, that we were meant to be, and that we are so happy, and that the twin flame dynamic is truly real. And I want to be able to say that so much. But I can't tell you that. What I can tell you is that the twin flame dynamic has truly helped me to understand myself, my motivation, my emotional unavailability, my anxious attachment behaviors, my history with narcissistic abusers, my gifts as an empath, an entertainer, and as somebody who values and pursues enlightenment. My twin flame relationship has brought me all of that, and for that I am very grateful. I think the person I'm focused on, in his heart of hearts, got a really raw deal in terms of how he was raised and his life. I think he had a hard life. I think he's paying for it by his emotional unavailability and his narcissistic tendencies. I think he's alienated people from his life, and I think it's sad, but I don't want to be with somebody that I'm pitying. Like, just because I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry that he had such a hard time. Like, what about what I've gone through? Like, why would I be like, oh my God, it's fine that he treats me so badly because he's had such a horrible time. And I'm like, okay, while I was homeless, he had 5 or 6 mansions. Like, his biggest problem is how much he has to pay his ex-wife each month. Like, and it's thousands and thousands of dollars because he makes thousands and thousands of dollars. Like, if we want to compare suffering, if we want to give reasons for why you would be such an incomprehensible, miserable human being to the woman you claim to love, then I should be being way worse to him. Like, I should be being like a horrible person, and he should be like, oh, it's okay. During that whole time that she was so completely compassionate, loving, kind, and caring to me, she didn't even have a car. I'll forgive her. Like, what the fuck? You can see so much in your own dynamic when you step back. If you get a video, like, get on your phone and take a video of yourself telling the story of your situation and then play it back and pretend that if you're a reader, pretend it's a client that's telling you the story. Or if you're not a reader, just pretend it's one of your friends. And I want you to listen to it as if you are on the outside of it, as if you are just an objective listener because I'll tell you, I hear stories all the time that I think to myself, my God, why did you feel like you didn't deserve better than that? You know, why did you feel that like, look at you, look at who you are, look at what you do in the world, look at what you can accomplish. Why did you feel like that was your only choice? Like this person who was clearly a toad, like what? Because I think you're going to listen to your own story that way and be like, why did I think that it was okay for him to treat me like that? Like even just saying that to you right now to be like, dude, the times when you were the kindest and the most loving and the most compassionate, your life was horrible. And he's not ever kind or compassionate to you. And you're just like, oh, his life's horrible. I forgive him for not being capable of loving somebody even when his life is hard. I can't be this way anymore. Oh my God. I think everybody's story is very similar. I think we all share really, I think that we imbibed media at a formative time in our lives that taught us that we were supposed to be a helpmate to somebody, a support system, an emotional support system. We're supposed to pack their lunches and make their dinners and fold their laundry and take care of their children, and that is what will be the most fulfilling thing to us as humans. We were taught that. And yet our masculine counterparts were not taught that they had to care for their partner in any way outside of providing a dwelling for them to live in and manage with all of the mental load of that. And, you know, maybe share the vehicle that you owned with them, like pay for the college. We really, really got screwed, because in the same breath that we were being fed this old patriarchal story of what we are supposed to provide, we were also told by another faction of women that were trying to change society, you must also now take on all the masculine behaviors and embody them so that you can be equal to them. So now, not only now are we a helpmate, a provider, packing lunches, making dinners, taking care of their children, managing the mental load of the household, but now we are also supposed to be the CEO of our own business. And did men have to change at all in this dynamic? Did equality insist that men learn how to process their emotions, pack their lunches, make their dinners, take care of their children, manage the mental load around their house? Like, from all I can see, it just told them that, it just reinforced that women nag you, and now they nag you even more because they're tired at the end of the day and they don't want to fuck you because they worked all day. So we really, really got screwed. And I think that's why a lot of us are in the situation we're in, because we're functioning on that old belief system from childhood that we are only going to feel good when we're in a partnership. But the partnership thing doesn't actually really enhance our lives very much, because if you look at the statistics for married couples, men actually benefit from marriage and women don't. They don't. So we were fed a great big lie, and it has a big hold over us. It makes us feel like, oh, we can fix this, man. We can, and when I say man, I just mean our heteronormative partner, because we have heteronormative dynamics even in same-sex relationships. So it's not just a gender thing. But we, as who are in our feminine energy, we can fix them. We can make, first of all, we can make our bodies beautiful and perfect so that we'll be a perfect trophy for any person who would want to be with us. And then it's our job to heal them and fix them. And it's not. It's not. At this point, the person I want to be with is probably somebody who is feminine gendered, I think, or feminine identifying gender. I don't think I even want to search for a hetero relationship anymore. I'm queer, so I kind of feel that I was just holding on to that as like part of my indoctrination. But I actually think I'd be a lot happier with a partner who understood everything I just said. And I don't know that there's going to be a ton of people who are masculine identifying that are really on that page. Even my own family, like, I love them dearly, but the, like, masculines in my family are still perpetuating a lot of the same things, and I'm trying to educate, but I'm just like, these are young men. This is like a man in his 20s. My son is 16. I have to constantly ask him when he wants a relationship. I'll be like, what do you like about this person? Like, what do you actually like about her as a person? Not just having a girlfriend, or like, what do you like about women? I actually got him to admit that he feels like he could have romantic feelings towards men much easier, but he doesn't have physical attraction towards them. And I'm like, yeah, that's classic Kinsey. That's like, they discovered that in the 60s, that men have emotional relationships with each other, but they don't like women. It's fucking crazy. It's not the first time I've had an epiphany on a live. The prayers symbol, it means that you subscribe to my channel. So if you subscribe to my channel and you have a yellow PRYR, that represents you're one of my prayers. And if you do have that badge, I will pull 2 cards for you. Just have to ask your question here in the comments, which actually I'm at that point now. I'm going to close up this reading for anybody who would like a 2-card pull. You can either subscribe to my channel right now and I will go ahead and read for you, or if you're already subscribed, just go ahead and put your question in the comments. I will replay this live. I will put this on my YouTube live if you missed it, if you missed the collective readings from the beginning. So it will go on my Tuned In Tarot YouTube page probably either tonight or tomorrow, depending on how long it takes me to upload it and download it. There should be the one from Friday should be available. I think that came out yesterday. And if you are a member, if you are a member of my, thank you for all the gift stuff. But if you're a member of my website, which there's a link in my profile, just click become a member. You can access the extended full length Tell Me Everything readings there, going back to January, and they are timeless. So none of y'all should ever feel like you can't get enough of me, because there's so much out there. I mean, there's hours and hours and hours of content on my YouTube channel. Let's check. I'm gonna check, actually. I haven't looked in a while. Let's see how far away I am from once I get 1,000 subscribers, I will be at creator level on YouTube. It's been a very slow growth. I have 602 subscribers, so I need 398 subscribers. So go subscribe if you haven't already. And my public watch hours, 2,167. Okay, so I'm a little over halfway to the required watch hours. So every time you watch an hour of my content, you are helping me achieve creator level. So Tuned In Tarot YouTube, if you are ever not sure where to find it, you can either click the link in my profile, which takes you to my website. That's going to give you both my music YouTube, which is Pearl in the Prayers, and my Tuned In Tarot YouTube links. But if you click the little Instagram picture in my TikTok profile, My Instagram drops down, and also the YouTube channel with all my readings drops down, Tuned In Tarot YouTube. So check that out if you haven't done it already. There's so much content there and all the replays. So if you've ever gotten a reading from me in the last few weeks and you wished you could see it again, if you remember what day it was, you can check either that day or the day after. I usually date it with the day that I did the reading, so you might be able to find it if you want to watch your reading again. All right, everybody, let's pull just a card to close out this reading for today. What's the last message for us? The Fool. This card came out before. I think it, with one of the readings I did today, I think it came out of the Light Seers Tarot earlier, like the one I did at 4 p.m. or something. But the Fool is, could we start again, please? Let's start fresh. Let's take the leap into the unknown. You will be supported in taking this leap. Look at, you know how to take care of yourself now. This is a Fool card that she has a journal. She's got her candles here. She's got a cup. For emotions, like everything she needs, the self-care, it's all there. And I feel like you're at a place where you can start again and really create something even more beautiful than what you initially thought you were going to have. You know, it's taken me some years to let go of the idealized vision I had of this life I was going to have with this person, and it's taken me a long time to dismantle that, but I have dismantled it, and I found other ways to envision my future. And there were times when I really would think, like, I don't want to continue having a future if I don't have this person. I don't care about my life without this person in it. I've had dark nights of the soul, being like, there's no other reason for me to even be here. But I've really let a lot of that go. Every once in a while I'll have a flash of like, well, I don't even care what happens. But it's very rare. I actually do enjoy being me and being here and doing things on my own. And it actually is pretty satisfying and fulfilling. But it's okay to feel like what you wanted is all you want. Like, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. And I predict that in time that feeling will lessen and you will be able to imagine new things and different things. And you do have to imagine new things and different things to experience new things and different things. So I hope that helps you. I am so happy to see everybody here tonight. Yes, I know, I love the birth of Venus there in the back. It's such a beautiful painting and such a profound image, really, like the birth of yourself, the love that you feel, honoring the divine feminine truly at a soul level. All right, everybody, take care. I shall see you tomorrow. I am planning to, I was going to do the reading normally at 10 o'clock like I usually do. Thank you so much for all the gift stuff. I appreciate it so much. So I will likely be coming on at 10 o'clock, but I'm also thinking about doing a 9 o'clock tomorrow just to see what the attendance is like at that time. I'm just trying some different times, just seeing if there's more people, I meet new people, stuff like that, because I was feeling a little samey. All right, everybody, take care. I will talk to you all soon. Bye.